Okay. It looks like we are live. Oh, okay, cool. Great. Looks like we're live on YouTube. I can't see if we're live on LinkedIn yet, but whatever. So I'll wait just a few minutes here to let everybody kind of trickle in, and then I'll do an intro to the event, to the ecosystem, and to the presenters today. If you are here and you can see me, please drop a comment in the chat that just tells me where you're from. Yeah, and then we'll get started in just a minute here. Okay, so it's been about a minute and a half. I'm going to get started with a quick intro to the event, and then a quick intro to the community, and then we will let our presenters come up. So let's see. Okay, so this is my tab. Great. Okay, so welcome to our April demo day. This is the r/AI agents demo day. This is where we showcase community projects. So people who have posted into the weekly threads on the project displays. I post about this all the time. I'm just like, hey, this looks like a cool project. You should come show us. So today's demo, we will basically have our arrival introduction for the next 10 minutes. So I will be kind of talking about the community, the broader ecosystem, and all of the general pieces that I put into it. And we'll see 5 presentations today. So we'll see Agent Handover from Sandro Andrick. We'll see Agent Foam from Manav Modi, Finalrun from Arnold Lystrom, Lobu from Emery. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, but you can come up and pronounce this later. And YouxAI from Kuldeep Singh, or maybe it's YouxAI, but I think it's YouxAI. So I want to give an introduction to our ecosystem at large. So the OSS for AI ecosystem, or the open source for AI ecosystem, is what the AI agents Reddit is kind of born out of, or something that I had created as part of it. So we do 5 different things. So we have live events. So that's the event calendar. That's probably where you found this event. And then we have the online discourse. And so that's the Reddit. That's where we have all of our discussions around builders. This is a very heavily moderated subreddit, but I'll get into that later. We have interview prep. So over the last 2 years, we've been doing this for about 2 years now, 3 years now. And a lot of people have asked about how to get a job into AI. And a lot of people who have asked about this are software engineers already. And so this is designed to help people who are about mid-career, early career software engineers. And then we have product evaluations. That's on productgrade.ai. I won't talk too much about that today. This is aimed more at companies that are probably a Series A, who have like a real product that they want to get in front of enterprises. And then we have our venture capital, which is Gravitational Ventures. And so Gravitational Ventures is an early stage venture capital firm. We invest in pre-seed all the way through Series A. I am the general partner of Gravitational Ventures. We have invested in Copilot Kit. We invested in their Series A. This is one of the top open source repos on GitHub, with about 0.1% of the in the top 0.1% of the stars. And then we have Stars AI, which is not an open source project. It is a cybersecurity focused startup, and the founders of YouxAI have formerly exited to Accenture and Palo Alto Networks, and are now building an AI native cybersecurity tool. And then we invested into Secura, and Secura was very fun for us because Secura was the winner of our very first r/AI agents demo day. So Secura came and demoed with us in February, and they won that demo day. And they also came and demoed as part of our big live event, Seattle Startup Summit, on April 1st. And they also placed in that. And so we're very excited about this company. Okay, now I'm going to go a bit deeper into all of these companies or all of these pieces of the ecosystem. So OSS for AI is our live events ecosystem. We do events online. We do events in SF. We do events in Seattle. We do events in New York. We've done about 200 events over the past 2.5 years. There's about 46,000 people, and our next event will be in San Francisco on May 22nd. So if you go to the calendar here, luma.ma/OSS4AI, you'll find it. And our goal with this is basically to be the live event AI learning resource for developers. And then AI agents is presumably where all of the people who are demoing today, this is where you found out about this. So we started this in April of 2023. Our 3-year anniversary comes up in 3 days on April 28th. And we are now at almost 350,000 members. So you can see this is my insights panel. I look into this. This is very cool for me because when I first started this, for the first year from April of 2023 to April of 2024, there was almost no activity, and there was like 1,000 people that were in it, and this was basically my personal blog. And then in between April 2024 and April 2025, we saw incredible growth, and I think we had about 100,000 people by April of 2025. And then of course this year now we're at 340-some thousand people. So our focus in the subreddit is to discuss builder activity, to give people a way to showcase their projects and things like that. And our goal with this is to be the center of online discourse for AI agents. And so this is a pretty heavily moderated subreddit. You'll see that there's a lot of posts that don't get approved. There's a lot of posts that get removed. You'll see there's 2,200 published posts and 960 removed posts. And so I'll go in and I remove a lot of spam posts on here. If you see spam in the subreddit, you can just tag me. I'm the moderator on here. You just tag me and I will go and remove it. Finally, this is one of my projects. This is one of my pet projects. This is cracking the generative AI interview. Like I said, we've had a lot of people ask about interview prep over the last couple of years. And so there's over 100 interview questions and answers for AI engineers. I've labeled them easy, medium, hard, and I have them in 5 categories. There's a lot of informational articles. And then if you would like to actually do practice interviews and get feedback and get a custom learning map, that is also available for you to buy. So that's pretty much it for my introduction. I am now going to bring our first presenter to the stage. So that would be Sandro. Sandro, here you are. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
I'm going to do this. So once you have your presentation ready to share, just share it and I'll bring it up to the stage.
Perfect. Give me a second. I think hopefully you should be able to see it in a second. It is not letting me for some reason. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So your time starts.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Sandro. I live in Dubai. Apologies, I currently just landed to Germany and just settled. So hopefully Wi-Fi connection will be good today. So Agenthandover, maybe I'll just give you a quick brief where the idea came from. I'm vivid user of AI agents, be it OpenClaw, Hermes, or Claude Code, Codex, etc. And one pattern that I noticed is that for type of work that I do, I always need to kind of explain what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, so it actually can do my workflows in the same way that I would do. So for example, if I'm checking my daily statistics from Google Analytics, Search Console, then I'll go on X or Twitter and ask for like how many times Agenthandover was mentioned, and then I will kind of collide everything and write the report. So each time I have to kind of explain that or save it as a context. So I wanted to take a step back and give the agent or AI the access to my screen so you can actually see everything I do and take notes in the background. Let me know if you are able to see my top menu bar.
No, we just see a slide. It'd be great if you could like show your whole screen or something like that.
Just 1 second. For some reason, it is not letting me share the full screen. Okay. Would you mind if I just rejoin? Because it's actually asking me for permission. It will
Sure.
take 1 second. Sorry.
Go for it. Technical errors for remote events. I guess this is a common theme. Oh, he's back.
It will be working right now. Perfect. Apologies. I was system settings. I was testing the Comet browser. So if I am to open the app, it's a Mac OS app, and it lives in my menu bar. I'll see it here. And there are two main ways of how it can observe me. It can observe me by watching a specific workflow, and this is very good when I have something in mind. Or I can just let it observe me through the day, and it will take notes and eventually create skills so that any of my agents can then execute. So if I, for example, click focus session, and I know what I'm going to do, I can just say, check my emails and write a summary. This is very, very simple. It will start recording. And then I will go to my emails. Maybe then I'll go to Google Docs, copy paste some emails, etc. For the purpose of time, because this can take some time after I stop recording, it will take a few minutes to process. What happens in the background is that it actually takes screenshots and it uses any of the Olama local models. Here I'm using Gemma 4 to actually annotate. Once it's done, it may ask me a few questions if it needs to, and then it will pop up a skill. So for the purpose of time, I'll show you one. This is a skill that I created. We can see that it's very detailed compared to, for example, Anthropic's out-of-the-box skills. It will have every single step. It will say which apps I used and which prerequisite the agent needs to have. So for example, access to the Google Analytics, so it needs to have it logged in. Once the skill is done, I can either edit it or approve it. For example, this one is already agent approved. And the next thing I do anytime I'm going to execute, let's say I'll use Claude Code. I can just prefix it with AH. And here I can see the skills, for example, marketing stats email. It's here, and if I just press, it will start executing it exactly like I would, using the browser, using exact apps, without any need of me having to explain it again. So this is very good when you already have a specific workflow. When you don't, then you can just click Observe Me, and this is a more complex process where it actually will observe and annotate through your days, and it will kind of like first classify, is this something that you do for entertainment, or is this something that you do for work? Then how often do you do this workflow? Are you doing it over different sessions? And it will then, once it decides that similar workflow has been run 3 or more times, it will run behavior analysis, which will then result in kind of like what the guardrails are, what the purpose of this workflow is, and ultimately create a skill. And then, of course, you can connect any of the agents. It's one click, and your agents will be able to use these skills. So, of course, this will take a few minutes, but I'm open to any questions. I think it's better when you may have any other questions and I can just answer them.
So someone says, where does this app live?
So it is local, and it lives on, for example, your MacBook. So it's Mac OS. You can download it as a PKH file, install it, and it's fully local, doesn't go on cloud, doesn't touch anything online, works without internet as well, which is very important because your screenshots may be very sensitive and private.
And our next question is, have you considered adding a feature to share a workflow to be able to replicate exact steps that you're doing and allowing someone else to do the same thing?
I think that's a very good idea, and a similar maybe analogy would be something that OpenClaw did with their Skills Hub. It's definitely on the roadmap where people could actually then share their skills that Agenthandover made. And that way, I think cross-sharing is very beneficial for everyone. And I think what's very interesting is after it observes you over a few days, sometimes it comes up with workflows that you wouldn't think of because they are so natural to you. And sharing those with people would be highly beneficial. So it's something that I will be working on.
So I have a question for you as well. As you've been building this out, you have a few hundred stars on GitHub now. How did you go about and get this in front of people for the first time?
It was very hard because I don't really have audience, to be honest. So what I did is I posted a lot on Reddit, and I created actual demos, videos, people can see it. And also posted on X and Twitter. It started like as a cool kind of like, hey, look what I did. Let me know like if it, it's interesting to you, if you have any feedback, and people just liked it. And then it kind of went viral once or twice, and that's where all the hype came, I guess. Now it's the challenge of keeping it up.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll have time for one more question. If I see any other questions here in the chat, I'll bring them up. How long have you been working on this now?
I would say probably like 3 months. Yeah, of course, with help of AI, it makes things much easier. But I think as a Mac OS application, that's probably where I struggled the most. Versus like more Python technical, which I'm more familiar with, but I wasn't before creating Apple environment apps. So that's what took some time.
Makes sense. How would this hold up against platforms that enforce human-only interactions, like a site with a robust bot detection or agent blocking controls?
Good question. I think that would probably work the same way that like AI agents like Claude could work. If it's using your browser, then it's probably using computer use. Once computer use is enabled, it's essentially moving your cursor and is using your browser. So it would help prevent some of the automated flags. If there's chapter or things like that, I believe that probably would be a challenging aspect, and it would heavily depend on the model's ability to resolve these. But for the usernames and passwords and things like that, I usually provide it if it's not logged in the browser.
Okay, so I think we still have 1 more minute, so we'll go with this last question here. How many frames do you process from the recording, and how do you handle the context of Gemma 4 for large recordings?
So it again depends on if it's a focus or if it's a observing kind of mode, what we do, we have a lot of screenshots being taken, but then we do first stage filtering to see how much one screenshot is different than the other, in a way of deduping, because otherwise it would eat up your GPU and unified memory and battery. So essentially, we do take a lot of screenshots, but the ones that actually get processed by LLM or Gemma are just a few, because these are the key ones with the key different steps in your recording. So it will heavily depend on your workflow and how many are duplicates, how many are not.
Cool. Okay, thank you very much, Sandro. It looks like you have one more question in the chat, but I'll let you answer that offline. And we will go to our next presenter. So our next presenter will be on Agent Phone by Manav, and he's not here. So then we will go to our next presenter. So our next presenter will be Finalrun by Arnold Lystrom. So Arnold is here, so I'll bring him to the stage. Arnold, if you can, share your screen, I can bring that up to the stage as well.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me know when you can see my screen.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm the founder of Finalrun. It's an AI QA agent for mobile apps. Little about me. I've been into mobile development for about a decade now, and I've always found testing as one of the most challenging thing. It's mainly because the existing tools are really flaky. They really rely on a lot of these accessibility IDs, the underlying um, tech about DOM hierarchy and stuff. But it doesn't really see how it works, so it cannot be tested based on intent. Let's say if you have any flow to test about, um, you know, let's say if you want to test any feature and let's say there's any random pop-ups or some UI changes, it really breaks, and maintenance is one of the major problems. So how I started is basically convert that to a way where vision can we can use vision to test it. So we have created a vision based AI agent that can test like a human, which can navigate, and if there are any random pop-ups or any UI changes given any feature, it's going to work. On top of that, just having vision is not enough, so you would have to make sure that tests are being maintained properly, as well as whenever your UI changes are happening, because with AI the UI changes are more than ever, right? You can ship features like anything. So this is the open source project that I've been working on. So what it does is basically you have like you would have to download it with this curl command, and once you have it, you have like three skills that are shipped. One is to generate, one is to use a CLI, as well as one is the
Can you zoom in
way
a
to
little bit
test
on
and
the screen?
fix, right? So let
Can
me
you zoom
just show you
in?
one
Arnold,
example here.
Arnold, can you zoom in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you see? Can you see my screen?
Maybe zoom in a little bit more. The text is still pretty small.
Yeah. So I'll take this open source project called Wikipedia. So here, what you can do is, as I said, I've already have set up all the skills and everything for Final Run. What you can do is you can go ahead and use some of the skills, right? So let me take you through one of the example, which is, let's say, generate test. Um, so what this does is basically it goes through your code base, understands each and every flow, and then it can give you out all the edge cases. You can ask about it, like what are the edge cases, all of that, and it generates your file. So for the purpose of this demo, let me not do that. I'll just show you an example, right? It has already generated one file here. Let's say this is about adding a language to the so Wikipedia supports multiple languages, so you can add different languages. So I've asked it to create a flow where you can add a language. So basically, it creates a natural plain English scripts that can that our agent can understand. So what I will do is now I can just use the CLI to say, okay, test on, let's say, this particular flow that I just created, add language from setting, and I can say create it on, run it on Android phone device. So I already have a device connected on my system. It is going to go through that test, and then install the specific uh, APK, and then it is going to run it, right? So the way it does is that it goes through, as I said, it goes through, like a human. It understands each and every flow, and it's going to test it. Right? It just launched the app. Now it is just going to navigate, right? Just for the purpose of the demo, I'm just going ahead faster. So once it is done, it generates a report about how each and every steps are performed. It goes through, so you get a complete report about what all actions have been done, and you also get a device log, right? Like, let's say if there are any failures or anything, the same agent which I used it for testing can use those reports, and then if there are any issues, it can fix it, right? That way, you're completing the loop. Let's say if you're testing any feature, and if there are any issues, you can just ask it to basically test it out and then fix it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's see if there's any questions
Let me just
for
close this.
Arnold.
Yeah.
So Arnold, what inspired you to build this?
Yeah, so I've been a mobile developer and for about 10 years now, and testing on mobile has been like a very challenging thing. You would have to test on different OS, different device fragmentations, and the existing tools are really not keeping up. So yeah.
Got it. That makes sense. How did you decide to lean into vision-based testing instead of relying on XPath, UIDs, and what trade-offs did you have to accept in this design choice?
Yeah. So why we leaned into vision testing is basically, there are a lot of ways where XPath fails. As I said, it doesn't really understand the intent. So vision is more of like how AI can understand, can reason through each and every screenshots of, it can navigate, right? And that's how you can, that's how an agent can decide, okay, let's say if there's a random pop-up that comes in between, I can just say, okay, this is a random pop-up, I can just dismiss it. And with vision, you can do a lot of assertions at once. You like, not with XPath, you have to go through a lot of different things. And with vision, you can also catch a lot of UI UX issues, um, right? So yeah, that's how we started with vision based testing.
Cool. Someone says, what's different that you asked the CC to use smoke testing?
CC is Cloud Code.
I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know CC.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if it is Cloud Code, okay, what I understand is, so basically we ship skills. So when you use skills, we ask you to go through the code base so that it can create in the natural format, which our agent understands, which is the plain English.
How is this different than Appium?
Yeah, I mean, Appium relies on the XPath. I think that's one of the previous questions. So we are using completely vision based and testing like a human.
Okay, so I think we'll take one more question here. Have you
Okay.
conducted any empirical analysis of how well your agent does versus a human test developer? And I'm curious about how you've evaluated the work done by a testing agent.
Yeah, this is a very good question. So so we are one of the We are number one in there's a benchmark by Google DeepMind, which does autonomous mobile agents for mobile agents. So we are backed by that. The vision-based testing, vision-based mobile navigation, has to be accurate when it comes to testing. So yeah, we are backed by that benchmark.
Cool. So that'll be the last question that we take. There's a couple more in the chat, but for now, I'm
Sure.
going to bring up our next presenter. So next presenter is Emery, who's going to talk to us about Lobu. Emery, please get your screen up, and I'll bring it to the stage.
Of course. Share screen. Entire screen. Do you see my screen now?
Got it. All right.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. It's Emre. We are working on Lobu, and we are based in London. So Lobu is basically like OpenClaw. If you are familiar with OpenClaw, you deploy OpenClaw for your usually on single user use cases. It takes over the whole computer. It can just do everything autonomously. We are working on deploying proactive agents like OpenClaw for organizations with the skill and memory features. So the way it works is that we usually have this CLI people start with. Either they use Claude Code to use this tooling, or they just spin up something in their own CLI. And we deploy one sandbox for each user that is interacting with the agent, unlike OpenClaw, which takes over the whole computer. And you just deploy something, like run something locally, enable the agent to have access to some external services that you define, bring in your own model, bring in your own messaging platform, and the memory, and this basically sets up something like this in your local environment. Here you see a bunch of YAML files.
I think it would be best if you also zoomed in a little bit more.
Okay. Better?
That's much better.
Okay. This is how it usually looks like. It's like a bunch of YAML files, which is developed by your agent. You have this identity MD, solved MD. You have your evils. You have your LLM judge. So whenever the agent takes autonomous actions, it can basically like be audited by another LLM judge model to make sure all the outbound access is safe. We do have the main thing actually people use Lobu is like the memory layer. What we do is that, like, instead of having a single memory, like for example, this is how ChatGPT looks like. OpenClaw has file system memory, kind of similar, but bunch of markdown files. You simply have a single memory. Wherever in Lobu, you have like entity-based memory, which means that whenever you deploy the agent, you define your model. Let's say you are doing something with legal engineering, you define your entities, and these entities have properties in them. They have the relationships with the other entities. And for each entity, you add memory into the entities. That way, you are able to just kind of have different memories attached to different entities in your organization based on what you want to keep track of. And you can basically run things locally, or we have this cloud version that lets you spin up different agents. So here you see one example. I have like brand and product entity over here, and we have like a bunch of examples. I'm just gonna do a quick demo on this specific example. Let's say we have a company, and I'm just gonna plug this into Cloud Cowork. Most of our users are like using their own agent to interact with it. What companies do I have in commercial lenders? So simply Claude is able to talk to this URL, app.lobu.ai, to pull up the entity types and find out which entities exist. And when you want to create a new entity, or when you want to save a memory to an existing entity, it can go through that with the MCP client. So you are able to just plug in your external data and let users bring in their agent, or you can expose it as a Slack bot, WhatsApp bot, and you can simply like enable different agents to have a shared memory where each member in the organization can contribute to. We recently published our benchmarks, memory benchmarks. You can deploy it, like you can use OpenClaw plugin to use our memory layer, or you can just use our direct Slack WhatsApp integration if you want to just expose the memory as an agent in a more like conservative environment. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I can take some questions. In the background, I'm just gonna put another prompt here.
Great. So let's get some questions here for Emery. In the meantime, you can tell us a little bit about kind of how you came to build this, why you built this, and yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 5-6 months in total. I was a founder before, B2B SaaS enterprise. We got acquired by a corporate company, and I just left work 6 months ago to start working on this.
Yeah.
And the reason why I started this is mainly because in the organizations there are many back office like work. There's so many work that you could be automated. So the idea is like, well, rather than having a bot that you can just ask a question and get an answer, what if we can make the bots more proactive? Like you define high level objectives, and the bot looks up all the events that is being done in the organization and save the memory itself and automate sending a message somewhere or like connect people together.
Cool. So we have a question here that says, you're framing Lobu as a multi-tenant sandbox orchestration for teams. And do you see this layer growing into something like a Kubernetes for agents with scheduling, quota, and observability?
Yeah, I think like I'm still trying to figure out what's the best GTM, go-to-market strategy for this. Kubernetes for agents is one thing. I think organizations are going to deploy their own agents in their infrastructure long term. Right now, the best in class agents are like OpenAI released something. Claude has managed agents. But long term, you will want multiple models to be used in your organization for different LLM jobs, for different use cases. So in the long run, I think this Kubernetes for agents will become a more thing, and we are trying to be the control plane of that layer. Yeah.
Got it. Our next question is that multi-agent gateways are a natural target for hostile agents and supply chain style attacks. How do you think about attack surfaces like file systems escaping and credential leakage?
So we don't really like, you have multiple sandboxing capabilities. We use mainly this tool called Just Bash, which is a like interpreter of the Bash environment. So agents think they have Bash access, but it's actually an audited environment where they have their own file system, virtual file system. So we write the data for each user into an object store, S3, or locally in memory file system. But the file system acts as a short-term memory. Long-term memory, when a certain timeout, time has passed, we ask the agent to save the memory into the database, our memory layer, and that memory layer is enabled to be accessed from multiple users. But they don't really run queries or like Bash in the same computer. each user have their own environment, short-term ephemeral environment.
Got it. Cool. So thank you very much, Emery. We are going to go to our next presenter. So I'm going to bring up Kuldeep to the stage. Kuldeep, can you please share your screen and tell us how you pronounce the name of what you're building?
Sure, yeah. Can you guys hear me and see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, my name is Kuldeep. I'm building YouxAI. Sorry?
Zoom in a little bit.
Okay, sure. So my name is Kuldeep Singh. I'm building YouxAI. So yeah, for the pronunciation, I pronounce it YouxAI. It's kind of related to my mother's name, Usha, which is a ray of hope. So yeah, it's YouxAI. It's live at YouxAI.app. You can try it there. But I'm going to use my local host for demo purpose. YouxAI is a job search operating system. A single job application from Greenhouse, from Workday, like 30 plus fields. All those fields manually, like name, email, or work authorization. Effort, and it tires you. And by the time you are on the questions that actually matter, do you want to work here, or maybe what's one project that you are really proud of, you are too burnt to actually write a good answer. And most of the tools that's automate this process already, like Simplify or whatever, like any marketing tool, any tool in the market, they are sending all your PII to cloud APIs. Your resume, your salary, your visa status, your demographics, all going to OpenAI or some third-party servers. YouxAI takes a different approach. The AI that fills your application runs entirely inside your browser, and no cloud AI APIs are used during the autofill process. We are using a local LLM called Quen 2.5, 1.5 billion parameter MLC instruct model using web GPU. So no cloud AI in the autofill pipeline. Your sensitive form data stays on your machine. So this is the landing page, and here you can see how it works. So we are using a Quen 2.5 locally, and cloud sync, using cloud just for sync and storage. So all the PII is blocked here, and we are not sending your data to any third-party servers. It works on LinkedIn, Workday, Lever, and any other major job portals. So yeah, we provide a lot of features like LinkedIn Copilot, Smart Auto Apply, Universal Autofill, daily briefing, fit analysis, pipeline tracker, company insights, resume tailoring, etc. And all this is done using a local LLM. So once you log in, you'll be able to see your dashboard, which provides you the snapshot of your pipeline and just a timer for how much applications you have done and how much time you have saved. And we provide you daily opportunities where you can see where we can find new opportunities daily, which are a good fit for you. And we also provide some signals on what to focus on next, like and also there's an intelligence and actions where you can see what applications you're being ghosted by. So as you can see, like these are almost 288 of them have ghost risk as the market is really bad right now. And we also show you the next steps depending on the pipeline that we have. You can find new roles. We have around 46 to 50,000 new job roles. And if I look for, let's say, iOS, and yeah, so it'll give you all the applications that we can find, and you can click on any application. You can add it to the queue. So we are using a queue system, which is that's why I'm using the local host as of now. So you can go to any application, open it, and as soon as you open any application, you'll see a badge on the side. It'll open the side panel where it'll provide you a match score in less than 10 seconds. It'll provide you why that match score is so low and what you can do to improve the match score. And yeah, so if you can autofill these job forms using the side panel here. So if I click autofill, so we are using two-tiered system, where first tier is the heuristics, and where we have around 200 keywords to match the basic form fields. And the second layer is the KB and the AI. So we create a knowledge base of all the applications that you have done till now, and we'll keep remembering all those answers and keep assigning the confidence to all those questions. So if you can see, all the questions are answered, and yeah, it's almost good to submit. So let's just close this for now, and let me demo you the queue. So yeah, I have already added 3 applications in the queue. So you can add applications by directly visiting any job application page and clicking add to queue, or you can directly search here and add to queue. So you can start this. So why I'm working on the queue is so you can control the whole application process remotely. You don't have to be next to your laptop. So even if I close this side panel and I run this session, it'll start applying on my behalf. So you can see it's processing the first job. If you come here, it's applying. And yep, so I think we are done with the application. Thank you for applying. Some application saved, and it went to the next application. So this way we are able to automate the whole job application process without using a cloud API and without selling your personal data to any third-party servers. And
so I think we have some questions here in the chat.
Okay.
How do you approach the quality privacy trade-off between cloud APIs and local model inference? Can users still pick cloud APIs in your agent if they're comfortable sharing sensitive information?
So as of now, there is no way for you to bring your own key and attach it to the agent. But for your questions, why I'm using a local LLM instead of relying on a large LLM, which can provide you better answers. But most of the time, if you'll see in this Whoop application, all these applications, it's working on the third application right now. But let me see if there is any vague question that we need to require AI to answer. But okay, so in this Whoop application, let's go back. Okay, if you'll see this question, why are you interested in working at Whoop? It's not that big of a question that you require Claude or OpenAI or any other big models to answer that basic questions based on your master profile. So we do create a master profile for your job search journey, so where we have all the basic information, what you're looking, what you have, what you're targeting, what your job preferences, and some advanced questions where you can provide some strong value proposition and why you're excited about this role, and a history of projects, work history, educations, and all those things. So during onboarding, we do ask you a few questions, which helps us curate these answers better. But you don't really require a large language model to answer this question, in my opinion. And even if I try to read this, right, I'm excited about working at Whoop. Their senior iOS health relevance with my passion for developing high-pressure, impactful apps, the opportunity to work at I wouldn't have even wrote a better answer than this, to be honest. And it would have wasted me 2-3 minutes to come up with something to say why I'm interested in Whoop. Because to be honest, you're applying to maybe anybody who's looking for jobs actively is applying to almost 50, if not 50, at least 20 to 30 jobs daily. And nobody's going to go and search for Whoop and why they are excited to work at Whoop. It's just very non-trivial question. So you don't require the large language models to go and write those answers for you. And it can all be done using a Quen local LLM model. So yeah, we are using WebGPU to run these models and the MLC instruct models. So as you can see, applications done, pending 0, applied 12/8 this week. Yeah, I've been working on this demo for last 2 days. So that's why I've applied to 8 applications. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can have your resume and documents vault. You can see pipeline insights. I don't see any. Let's see. Let's
get to our last question before we have to go here. So there are many job search automation tools and AI covered letter helpers. What specific pains does YouxAI solve better than the rest?
Yeah.
Where you go?
Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I know like there's many similar tools like Simplify, and even like there are tools which apply for you in cloud, and you don't even have to do anything. You just swipe left and right like Tinder. And I don't think anybody who's looking for a serious job is treating their future like Tinder roles and swiping left and right on those roles. And those tools give you like those tools are really sending all your information to a third-party servers, and even though they don't have control over it, and all these companies, they are bidding through money because of the AI inference that they are costing a bit of on, and they provide you like template resumes and template cover letters, which they use for all the major requests that they get, because they don't want to rewrite the whole thing from scratch. So like in our case, we don't have to worry about the inference cost or sending your PII to any any third-party services. So we are like trying to automate the whole process from finding the job to applying to the job and then tracking that job application. Then even in future, we can even move to providing you better next steps, like providing you a way to prepare for your next interviews that are lined up. So yeah, from Simplify and any other roles, any other similar tools, we are more private and much faster and cheaper to run.
Cool. So I think that wraps up our presentations for today. I don't see Manav. I don't think he joined at all. So judges, please be on the lookout for an email, and everyone else will be posting the winner up on the wiki in the next few days. So thank you guys all very much, and I'll see you guys next month.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you. Bye-bye.